So welcome back to the BIMTech channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create an egress path detail component. We're going to incorporate a warning to it in case our common path of travel is too long. We're going to put it on a schedule so that we can list the overall travel distances. We're going to put path names in, and we're just going to go ahead and jump right on in. So I have a project open here with just a generic layout, and I'm going to start a new family. This is going to be a detail item, line based, and we are going to create some new object styles before we get too far. So we're going to go VV, and I always recommend if possible to keep consistency in the model categories and your object styles. So we're going to click object styles, and we're going to add a new subcategory. We're going to call this egress line. I'm going to do another one called egress warning line. And then a new one called arrow, and one called dot. Okay, so we are going to make all of these have a line weight of 3, and the warning lines are going to be hidden line types. The warning line itself is going to be red. And we'll click apply, and we'll say OK to these. So we're going to pick a line, or start drawing a line. We're going to choose the pick lines option to make sure we're on the egress warning line, and we're going to select this reference line and lock it to it. Then we're going to switch to the egress line, and we're going to pick that reference line again. Lock that one to it. And we're going to load this into the project quick, just to make sure it's working. Okay. So actually we'll under annotate component, start with a path. We'll go out this door. We can align these to the doors, and then come back and trim. So there's our line. So let's switch back to our egress family. And we want to put a dot and an arrow in here. So I have already drawn these. And it looks like their visibility sets came with them too. So, but I'll show you how to create those. So I have a group for the dot, which is, I'll turn off my thin lines here, and you can see you can't use the filled region in this situation. A couple limits: you have to turn off the whole detailed component category to get the dot to go away, and then additionally the dot remains black or whatever color you set it as. It doesn't change if it's part of a system. So what I've done is I've created a circle, and then I just bisected it with a line and arrayed that line around. And then the key to is also not to group them. So you might have to try a couple of times until you get full coverage. And you want to make sure that you're looking at it, in the scale that it's going to be in your drawing. Change each stuff here. It should be all fine. Yeah, I'm going to bounce between 1/8 and 1/4. So there's that. Once you have it set, then you just group, highlight everything and choose create group, and then I named it dot. So we should see, there's the dot. We want to align that to this line, we'll lock that there. We want it on that one too. Something like that. Move it up. And then this one will go on that end point there. And let's load it into the project. Make sure all the arrows and dots stay where we want them. Okay, so you can see our arrow is not sticking. So we need to come back here to the family. And I'm just going to align it. That should stick it. Boom. And just to be sure. Okay. Turn thin lines off over there, and let's check. This might be a 1/4 inch plan sometimes too. So we do have full coverage for our line types as well. So I might even beef that up, but since I've already brought it into the project, I'll have to do it in 2 places. I'll trim these, get them even. Alright, back to the family. Okay, so these are behaving the way I wanted to, them to. So what you didn't see, because I copied and pasted, there's the dot and the arrow in, is they each are attached to a visibility parameter. I created one for arrow, I created one for dot, and they're also, you can see type parameters, they're yes and no parameters obviously, and I put them under the visibility group. And then that's what controls what's on and what's off. So right now they should both be on, because we've not set up the styles yet, or the family types yet. So now we have 2 lines here, right? If I highlight this and go to filter, I'm going to see 2 lines, right? An egress line and a warning line. Okay. So we want to do is we want to add some parameters here. I've already created a few parameters in my shared parameter file, and we're going to go ahead and use them. So we'll select. So I want to put all of these parameters into this family. This is going to be a checking parameter. That's going to be an instance. And we're going to go to the next one. Common path of travel. I'm going to organize these all once I get them in here. New. Warning. Parameter. Path name. We're going to use the path name for the scheduling. S length we're going to need for the scheduling, and it's also going to be a reporting parameter. And it already contains a shared parameter, S length. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll cancel that. Let's delete it, because I didn't want it there yet. Right, new, shared parameter, S length, say okay to that. Distance parameter, it's an instance parameter, it's a reporting parameter. Leave it under dimensions, and then I believe the last one, sprinklered. That'll be an instance parameter also. Okay. So before we create, we want to set all the universal settings first before we create our family style, so that when we create the new ones, these universal settings come through. So common path check, and common path of travel are what we're going to use to determine if we see a red line or if we see a black line. So common path of travel is going to be if sprinkler, then it's 150 feet, or else it's only 75 feet. Okay, so now we can see we get 150 in here. If I turn off the sprinkler, it goes to 75. Now the common path check. This is going to be another or. A little more tricky though. So this is or, and we're going to have two sets of parentheses here because we're going to check two true-false conditions. Okay, so if length is less than the common path of travel, then this box is going to stay checked. Now the or, and there's where our other set of parentheses coming in at, length is equal to the common path of travel. So if either one of those conditions are true, that box is going to stay checked. And then the warning, obviously if this box is checked, then that means we don't want this one checked. So we're going to say not common path of travel. Sorry, not common path. Check. My bad. Boom. Alright. And we're going to take sprinkler. I'm going to put that up here. I'm going to put it at the top of the list there. Let's say apply. Okay. Now let's load this in and see what we got. We've added parameters, so we want to overwrite the parameter values this time. And we'll choose this guy. We'll create similar, and let's make it long. Okay. It's not set to sprinkler. We haven't set our visibilities, that's why. So we'll edit this family. So we'll pick this. This is our egress line, and that's visible if the common path check is still visible. We'll switch to the warning line. That's visible if the warning is selected. Load this back to the project. Overwrite the parameters again. This line should turn red now. Yep. And there we go. If I take it and turn it back to something, 50 feet, now it's black. I can even tell it to go to 75 feet. It remains black. If I make it 75'1", it turns red on us. If I tell it, oh, we're a sprinklered building, now I'm longer than that. Now I can go to 150 feet. It stays black. If I go to 150 feet 1 inch, we're red again. Okay. I can also take all of these and we're gonna give them, where'd their path name go? Back here, path name. Must skip path name. Show parameters, select path name. It's okay. This is going to be an instance. Load it back to the project. Alright. We'll take all these. There's path name. We'll call them path 1. And do another one. So select this, create, we're going to call this path 2. Align these with the doors. Trim them up and make sure they're good. That's path 2. Alright. So now let's get rid of the errors and the dots in the errors. So I'm going to come down here to the family, make sure I don't have anything in here I don't want. Detail items, family 2. Yeah, it's just a family 2 there. So we're going to delete that when we're done. So go back to family 2. So let's go into our family types and let's create a new one. Now, I like to use a 2-digit code in front when I want to keep things in a certain order, and I want start, middle, and end to list that way here. So we're going to do start, and start is only going to have the dot, and we'll apply that. And now we'll do a new one and call it 01 middle. And that's not going to have a dot either, dot or an arrow. So we'll apply that, and then we'll do a new one and call this 02. Actually, you know what? I want that to be 03, and that's going to have just the arrow. So we're going to apply that. So I want to go back to these. Middle I want to rename. I want that to be 02. I want start to be 01. And I'm going to create a new one, 00, and call it single segment. That's going to have both. Alright, now if I load that into the project, comes the family 2 here. I want to get rid of this. Actually, I want to change all these first, I guess. So these are the 2 starts. So we're going to put them on start. We got 2 ends. We're going to put them on end. And we're going to take this and select all instances in the view. See, it's got all the middle ones now that we hadn't selected. And they're going to be middle. We should see the arrows and dots disappear. Yep. And now I can delete this extra type. And let's create similar. Now I'll put a single segment in here just for testing. Alright. So there's our Egress Paths. Let's go back over here to our family, and we need to get that. Well, let's go back to our project quick. Okay. So now we want to schedule these. First, we want to have a tag, so we know the length of this, and we want to have a an ID tag, so we know what the path name is, so that our schedule knows which paths to use. So we're going to go, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to clear the path name. Yep, this has no path name, and that's important. So we're going to go to view, schedules, schedule quantities, and we are going to schedule detail items. I'm going to call this the Egress Path schedule. Egress Path. And we're going to put in, for now we're going to put in the family. We're going to pull these back out then, but type S-length shouldn't be there yet. Well, okay, I know why I thought S-length. S-length is going in, and path name is going in. So actually, you know what? We don't need these. I'm going to put path name up there. We're going to go to the filter. We're going to filter by path name, and we'll say does not equal nothing. We'll sort them by the path name. We don't want to itemize every instance, and we want this to calculate totals. We're going to change the field format so that it calculates to the nearest inch. We'll say OK to that. So we have our path 1 now and our path 2. Now if I went and itemized every instance, so we see all of our legs. If I get rid of our filter, then we get the blank space. That's that that single segment that we had. There, and back to itemize every instance. Okay. Now, the reason the length isn't working is because we didn't add it to the family yet. There was one thing missing there. So we'll come back to the family. To get a reporting parameter to work, you have to draw a dimension. So this is the parameter that or the length that we're trying to monitor, and we just under the label give it that S length report. Okay. So now if I load this back one more time, overwrite existing parameter. Now when we come to our schedule, our egress paths are filled in. And then let's see, we'll format this correctly. Travel distance. Name. Path travel distances. Okay, so we can close this. And let's get a tag on here. So we're going to do File, New, Family, and we're going to go Annotations. I think it is generic tag. Open that. I think it was a box. Where we can tell it that's a detail item tag. So I'm going up here to our family category and parameters dialog. Do not rotate it with the component. And we'll put a label in here. And we'll call this, we'll add our shared parameter. We're going to add S length to this. And we got to change our format because we want that to also only round to an inch, the closest inch. Okay to that. And then we're going to duplicate it, copy it, and paste to the same place. Choose edit. This time we're going to add path name. Value path ID number. Alright. Now I do remember this length needing some more room when I did this before. So we're gonna pull that down. And we're gonna give these guys their own visibility settings too. So this is visible when path name. Go ahead and make that a type. Boom. 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 Yep, that's a type 2. Let's okay that. Now come back here, we'll go ahead and we'll add a name. And we'll add length. And length has no name. Boom. Name has no length. Apply. Boom. Okay, delete this name before using. And let's load it into the project. See if it works. And it does. And then using the spacebar, this is why we didn't choose rotate with component. If you choose rotate with component, for some reason it doesn't let you use the spacebar to do this. So that's path 1. Over here is path 2. Alright. And we can also copy this. Boom. Change it to length. Select similar. Right. And there we go. Made this an 1/8 inch plan. That should scale up for us. Yep. So then the last part would be to come. We have our drawing already on a sheet here. We can take our Egress travel distances and slide them up here. And we can add a path name here. Make that sprinkled one so it stops being silly. Or we just make it be realistic. Let's put it down here. This is an end piece, and this is start one, and they're both path 3s that aren't sprinkled. Path 3s on our list now. So then the last thing to do would be to save our families. And I like to show them, put a prefix in for what it is. So it's a detail component, and it's an egress path, and the tag is family 3. So call this a tag. Path. And there we are. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it or found something useful. If so, help me out and press the like button below. Click the subscribe button and you'll get notifications when new videos are uploaded.